It's 4:52 p.m. on a Friday. For Sarah Jennings, the week is over. As Chief Financial Officer at Sterling Logistics, her world is one of precision and protocol. Numbers reconciled, reports filed. Her office, on the top floor, is an island of silence. She packs her briefcase, the familiar ritual of a week's work completed. The city outside is a distant, muted blur. Her relationship with the company's CEO, David Thompson, is built on a decade of mutual respect. He is demanding but fair, impulsive but brilliant. Sarah is his anchor, the one who translates his grand visions into balanced spreadsheets. She knows his voice better than her own, the way it rises slightly when he's excited, the clipped, no-nonsense tone he uses under pressure. Her phone rings, the screen lighting up with a name and a face she knows intimately. David Thompson, CEO. She answers, a hint of friendly admonishment in her tone. "David? I thought you were on your way to the airport." The voice that answers is unmistakably his, though strained, as if he's speaking from a car in spotty service. "Change of plans. Listen, Sarah, I'm in a bit of a bind and I need your help. Something's come up. A last-minute acquisition from our European competitor. Extremely time-sensitive. We have a window of a few hours to close, or the deal is dead." Sarah frowns, her hand freezing over her briefcase. This is not how they operate. Acquisitions take weeks, months of due diligence. An acquisition? It's Friday at 5. The wire rooms are closing. Can't this wait until Monday? The voice on the other end hardens. The friendly, rushed tone vanishes, replaced by the familiar sound of her boss under pressure. It's a shift she's heard 100 times before. "No, it can't. That's why I'm calling you, Sarah. They won't hold the offer. I need you to push through a wire transfer. $250,000. It's a good faith deposit. I'm sending the account details to your email now. It has to go out before the cutoff." Every instinct in Sarah's body screams that this is wrong. The company's protocol for a transfer this size is ironclad. Dual signature authorization, a formal request on company letterhead, and a verbal confirmation with a pre-established code word. "David, our protocol requires..." He cuts her off, his voice sharp with impatience. "I'm aware of the protocol, Sarah. I wrote the protocol. This is an exception. The deal is confidential, and I can't risk a digital trail until the funds are secured. The board will be briefed Monday morning. For now, it's just you and me. I'm trusting you to handle this discreetly. Get it done. I'm counting on you." The line clicks dead. Sarah stares at the phone. The pressure is immense. Disobeying a direct order from her CEO could be a career-ending move, but violating protocol could be just as bad. The key was his voice, the urgency, the authority, the specific cadence of his impatience. It was all pitch-perfect David Thompson. She logs back into her computer. There it is, an email from his address. The wiring instructions for a bank in a country they've never done business with. It looks legitimate enough. The weight of his final words, "I'm counting on you," settles on her. She takes a deep, steadying breath, pushes aside the doubt, and begins the transfer. Her fingers move with practiced efficiency. The system asks for a secondary authorization code, which she overrides using her executive privileges, just as he would expect. The final confirmation screen appears. A single click. The money is gone. And with it, the invisible architecture of trust that held her world together has just been demolished. The lie doesn't unravel on Monday with a dramatic confrontation. It begins with the quiet buzz of a text message. At 9:15 a.m., Sarah sends a message to the leadership team, including David. Friday's acquisition. Please advise on next steps for integration planning. 30 seconds later, David Thompson walks into her office, holding a coffee mug, a quizzical look on his face. "That acquisition you just mentioned," he says, gesturing to his phone. "Which one was that?" "I don't have anything on my calendar. My flight to London was great, by the way." A cold dread begins to creep up Sarah's spine. The world seems to slow down. "The one you called me about. On Friday afternoon. The wire transfer for $250,000. David's face is a mask of confusion. He slowly, deliberately, shakes his head. Sarah, I didn't call you on Friday. I was 30,000 feet over the Atlantic. My phone was off. The moments that follow are a blur of frantic activity. A panicked call to the bank's fraud department. The chillingly calm voice on the other end explaining that the wire was cleared and the funds have already been moved. A call to the company's IT security chief, who confirms the email was sent from David's actual account, which had been compromised. But the call was the linchpin. It bypassed every rational security check in Sarah's mind. How could they have gotten his voice? The answer was found not in a compromised server or a stolen password, but in the public domain. The company's marketing department had released a podcast a month earlier. It was titled Market Movers, Episode 47, an interview with CEO David Thompson. In it, David spoke for 25 minutes about the future of logistics. The hackers only needed 30 seconds of it. The money was the first loss. It was not the last. The $250,000 was laundered through a dizzying chain of shell accounts and cryptocurrency tumblers, services designed to obscure the digital trail. It was effectively gone within an hour. The FBI opened a case, but told the company the chances of recovery were slim to none. For Sarah Jennings, the fallout was devastating. The internal investigation, while acknowledging the sophistication of the scam, couldn't ignore the protocol breach. She was suspended, her reputation in tatters. Colleagues she had known for years now looked at her with a mixture of pity and suspicion. How could she have been so foolish? But it wasn't foolishness. It was a betrayal of her most basic human instinct. The company, Sterling Logistics, was thrown into chaos. All wire transfers were frozen. New, cumbersome security measures were implemented overnight, grinding productivity to a halt. Every phone call from a senior executive was now treated with paranoia. The open, agile culture David Thompson had built was replaced by one of suspicion and distrust. The invisible architecture had crumbled. The crime was perfect not because it was technically flawless, but because it exploited the one vulnerability no security system can patch: the human heart. Sarah's story is not unique. All over the world, these attacks are multiplying. They are called Vishing scams, voice phishing. Criminals are using AI clones to orchestrate virtual kidnappings, calling parents with the faked sounds of their children screaming for help. They are targeting the elderly, mimicking the voices of grandchildren begging for emergency cash. The implications are staggering. In a world where audio can be forged this easily, what becomes of evidence, of testimony? A doctored recording of a politician could swing an election. A faked confession could destroy a life. Your voice is a public asset. It's on your social media, your friends' videos, your company's voicemail system. Every time you speak, you are creating more source material, more data for an AI to learn from. The defense is a new kind of vigilance. It is a conscious, deliberate choice to distrust our own ears. It's establishing offline code words for financial transactions. It's verifying requests through a different channel, a text message or a video call. It is the slow, painful process of unlearning a lifetime of trust. The heist at Sterling Logistics was a success because it targeted the gap between human intuition and technological reality. We still live in a world where we believe a voice is a person, but the criminals have moved on. They know a voice is just data that can be copied, manipulated, and weaponized. The question is no longer if your voice will be stolen, it's what it will be made to say when it is, and who will be listening when it does.